As the hub of a small rural community, the Oracle School District has a proud history of being small-town friendly and ruggedly self-reliant. As our tagline, Small Town Roots, Global Expectations, indicates, we believe our students should have every opportunity to achieve. Over the past few years, we've done much to support our students and staff while becoming more efficient and fiscally sound. Insufficient funding has made this challenging, and we are now to the point that deferred maintenance and out-of-code facilities and grounds require a significant investment from a bond to carry us into the future. Additionally, per-pupil funding provided by the state simply won't allow us to maintain reasonable class sizes and offer programs such as music, art, physical education, and our Tech Academy without continuing the override that provides locally supported funding. It is said a picture speaks 1,000 words. Let's walk around the district and take a look at the work that needs to be done. We are starting in the bus barn area because we're excited to tell you about the 2 new buses we received from Arizona's settlement with Volkswagen. Although this requires us to destroy 2 of our oldest buses, it also allows us to begin to replace buses with an average of 300,000 miles and in some cases with no air conditioning. And even though we have an excellent on-staff mechanic who works wonders keeping the old buses running, we need to replace most with new buses to modernize the safety of our students and increase operational efficiencies. The bond will provide almost $790,000 for that purpose and will pay off the lease purchase of an 84-passenger bus we already have on hand. Speaking of buses, it can get a little crazy in our bus drop-off area before and after school. One might say this is just an accident waiting to happen. Only through a significant investment of staff and parental oversight can we maintain safety in this less than ideal situation. The bond will provide almost $2 million to reconfigure the parking lot and traffic flow in front of the Mountain Vista campus to protect students from vehicular traffic and provide parents with a more suitable situation for dropping and picking up their children. One vulnerability that is probably on all of our minds these days is the possibility of an active shooter incident at our school. District staff has made great inroads with fencing around the campus, but we still don't have a single point of entry preventing unauthorized people from gaining unimpeded access to the entire campus. The bond provides over $1.4 million to install card entry at all exterior gates and visitor access control through the front office. Because maintenance and upgrades have been long deferred due to specific category budget cuts, our campus is widely deficient in complying with the Americans with Disabilities Act. One area to be addressed is our student restrooms. Several sidewalks also need work and some sloped grounds need ramps. The district medical office also needs upgrades to meet standards. The bond will provide over $1 million for these purposes. The most expensive single item provided for by the bond, almost $5.5 million, is to replace the junior high Bateman building. This circa 1962 classroom building has asbestos ceiling tiles and long walls of windows on 2 sides. These windows provide extreme vulnerability in the case of an active shooter incident, and of course the overhead asbestos is a looming hazard as well. The cafeteria building serves many purposes and therefore gets a lot of use. In addition to housing the kitchen and dining area, it is also where the district holds concerts, plays, and official gatherings for students and their families. The bond will provide over $105,000 to upgrade the sound system and add acoustic treatment so that the audiences can actually hear and appreciate events. And audience seating will be installed to allow parents and others to actually see their children perform and will require less time for setting up. The kitchen staff does amazing work given the conditions under which they toil. They don't even have air conditioning, relying just on swamp coolers to keep the heat at bay. The bond will provide $333,000 to replace these old systems and structurally engineer site-wide HVAC systems. In addition, the kitchen has other antiquated equipment that must be replaced as parts can no longer be sourced. The bond will provide almost $900,000 to replace the existing 20-plus-year-old walk-in refrigerators and freezers and almost 50-year-old Ansel hood and 6-burner stove. Lowering floor drains that are 1 inch above the floor and replacing sinks that don't meet health code are just a couple of the other items that will be fixed. Here in the common area for the older students, you can see the fire hydrant that is now surrounded by the campus. The bond will provide over $40,000 to relocate this and one other hydrant on campus so they can be easily accessed by the fire department. We have a greater vision for our library, which is indicated by its new name, the Joanne Aldridge Literacy Center. The bond will provide almost $1.6 million to help us meet learning needs for the circa 1972 facility by expanding it to include a teacher training room, staff and student restrooms, and tutoring rooms. These additional spaces are critical to being able to address students' individual needs and ensure efficiencies in staff professional development. Past the preschool area, we have a playground that still has old metal equipment no longer meeting standards for student safety and has been put off limits. The bond provides over $320,000 to remove and replace it. Finally, we find ourselves back at the district office. The governing board previously approved the purchase of this modular building to consolidate all district staff to one location at the Mountain Vista campus. This enables us to save maintenance and operation costs by closing distant buildings, becoming more efficient, and increasing responsiveness with the district office on site. The bond will provide almost $370,000 to pay off this loan. As you can see, there is no fluff in the work to be done. The bonding capacity allowed by law for the Oracle School District is almost $24 million, and an architectural firm recommended more be done. The district governing board, however, has spent considerable effort on ensuring sound fiscal prudence and isn't about to veer off course now. Determined to ensure only that which is critical is addressed, they appointed a long-term capital needs advisory committee of members from across our communities to study the district's capital needs and scrub that list of recommendations. After 6 months, the committee recommended $13.2 million in requirements and that the district seek a bond to fund only these requirements. They also recommended the district pursue an override continuation. Yes, we have done much in-house for our students, and we are grateful for all the support our communities have provided as well. If we are to sustain the momentum, however, and let our students know that we have their backs, we now need to vote yes on both Propositions 438 and 439 for the override continuation and bond. We hope we can count on you. Paid for and authorized by Focus on the Future.